Well, hey there, welcome to day 12 of our 21 days of prayer and fasting. We are just over the halfway point, and we're so glad that you've partnered with us in this season. And really our prayer is that through this season of prayer and fasting, that you're just connecting with God in a new and a fresh way to kick off the new year. And I'm honored to be with you guys today as we take a look at a passage of scripture that really kind of talks about our focus for today, which is those in authority and praying for those in authority. And Exodus chapter 17, to kind of paint a picture for you, Moses, God's chosen leader that he has appointed to lead his people out of Egypt and to lead them to the promised land. Basically, one day they're attacked by this army. And basically, as Moses goes out and he holds up his staff, and as long as he's holding up his staff, his people, God's people, are victorious. But whenever he lowers his arms, basically God's armies, God's people begin to be overtaken by these other armies. And I love this passage in Exodus chapter 17 and verse 12. It says this, that Moses' arms soon became so tired that he could no longer hold them up. So Aaron and Hur found a stone for him to sit on. Then they stood on each side of Moses and held up his hands so that his hands held steady until sunset. I think this paints a beautiful picture of what our role is as Christ followers. You know, I think it's easy in our culture right now. It's no secret or no shock that we live in a time where things are divisive politically. There's a lot of division in our country, but really as Christ followers, I believe that we're supposed to look more like what Aaron and Hur did for Moses, that we're called to lift those up in authority. We're called to lift them up in prayer. And I believe all the way from the White House to our local leadership, we should be praying for those in authority, that God would give them wisdom, that he would guide them, that he would direct them. It's easy in our culture, especially in the age of social media, to complain about things that we see and things that we disagree with. But really, as Christ followers, what if we just started to lift up our leadership in prayer? What could begin to happen in our local communities and even in our nation? And so that's really our heart, and our challenge to you today is let's make a choice to pray for those in authority.